Here I got the old F-150 and I'm doing an alternator upgrade. Went ahead and also took the time to paint the bracket while I had it all off. So this was the original alternator. So for one, there was a TSB about how they could be prone to fire just because of the connections. And but one of the reasons I wanted to replace it is I can hear a bearing noise, and two, for that TSB. And also these alternators, they don't really put out a whole lot of amperage. This one was rated, I believe, at 60 amps at like 2900 RPMs. So at idle, it's only pushing like 15 amps. So this is a Remand Motorcraft, and this one is the third generation. This was the second gen. So the third generation was just a much better alternator, and we can see the rating on this one. So at 2000 RPMs, 83 amps. Now this is 2000 RPMs of the alternator pulley. So at idle, it'll be putting out like, I think I did the math, 900 RPMs. So I calculated my pulley, crank pulley. So at 2500 RPMs, I'll be doing about 130 amps. So definitely way more. Also, this is the 95 amps. If looking it up on the parts, they do make a 130 amp. That one will have the ear at 180 degrees out, but as you can see on the rating, for me there's really no need to step it up to the 130 because it will actually put out way more than that on higher revs. And I believe if I rev this truck up to like 4,000, it'll be way more than the 130 amps. I am using a much bigger wire, so this is a 200 amp rating. And look at the little bitty wire that it came from the factory. So definitely a huge difference. This probably was one of the reasons why be prone to catching on fire. Bad connections here was also I believe one of the problems. Now on mine it looks okay, but I kind of had to replace it anyways because it was already making a bearing noise. And then when I do my electric fan conversion, I'll definitely need the extra amperage. So I am using the connector from my 351 engine. So my hot will go here, this one will jump like that. So the only two other wires to worry about is the green and the yellow, which if we can see here, the yellow kind of tied into itself. So this yellow one, I'm gonna put it back to my starter post, and then my green one will come out of this lead here. So I'm gonna use this connector. So that's how I'll do my wiring. So very simple wiring. So another thing about those who get the 90, so on some other vehicles, I believe with the 302, the 351, people have to end up getting one from like a Taurus or a Sable or something. But for this one being the 300, I just got one for a 96 model. It was 95, 96 when they started doing the third generation, and the mounting is the same. I don't have to clock it. So as we can see, it looks like the same setup. Now if I would have gotten the 130, the ears would have been different, but based on this amperage, this is more than plenty. So this is the bolt that mounts for this alternator. and this is the one I had. So I'm gonna try to tap it to this bigger thread size, and even if I screw it up, I got room in the back where I can put a nut, so it ain't no big deal. But I do want to have the thicker bolt versus something that small like that, so huge difference. So all of these wires were supposed to pass through that little spot right there. So yeah, this wasn't the best design. We got 14.6 volts and very little bit of ripple. So it looks like we're working. Alrighty, so later on I'll add an additional ground to here, and then also my fuse. But right now I was just trying to see, for demonstration purposes, make sure it worked. So we're charging, also very little ripple, so we're good. So one other thing I did have to shave is this little stud. I had to shave it a little bit, and to be able to, so that it wouldn't contact the alternator. And then also the mounting gear was a different thread, so I just kind of tapped it so that I could use my own bolt, and that was it. So I got my yellow wire to my starter solenoid, and then this is the charge signal.